What's up everyone, Alex here. So I've had my AYN Odin Pro for just over a year now actually. It shipped to me a bit after the 20th of January last year, so I've had this device for a full year now, and I was thinking about doing a kind of year roundup, like what is it like now, what's it like in 2023, but I have a lot of videos on the Odin, and it's pretty easy to say that it's just a great device that will emulate a lot of games up to PlayStation 2, and the value out of that is pretty crazy. I guess I'll talk a bit about like my experience with this. So as you can see, I've modded mine a bit with Sakuna retro modding buttons, which you can get from Etsy. I've replaced my sticks with Switch sticks. So I had to open up the case and replace the joysticks with ones I just bought from eBay or something for the Switch. And these are Vita thumb caps, which I've replaced the tops with, and that has like given it a little bit more range of motion, which I think actually is quite nice. I didn't know I needed it. I'm not one of the people that gets a bit finicky about the original small sticks, but I think they were fine, but these are definitely better. And I've got rid of the logo and put a PlayStation logo on, and I used acetone to get rid of those, but I did this on this black shell. Do not do this on a closed shell, I think it will ruin the shell. And you know, I've opened this device up a lot of times. This is one of the first models which actually had problems with the LNR triggers here. I had to order a upgrade kit about 6 months after getting this device. That's about when mine failed me, where the buttons didn't, really work anymore. And then I switched them out, and they work perfectly fine. If you were to order an Odin today, you wouldn't have that problem. They're nice and clicky, work absolutely fine. And yeah, I've just loved this device. Just really great time with it. I don't know how many hours I've used it, but I love it. Currently, I have an SD card inside the top here where I've got a lot of Switch games. So I thought instead of doing a recap, we'll dive into a lot of Nintendo Switch and Skyline, because a lot of progress has happened with that emulator over the last year, and I thought it'd be interesting to just check out a bunch of games and see what they're like on the Odin, because if there's a handheld device like this out there that's not like a Windows handheld that's going to play some of these, it's going to be this one. And I think that's all I really wanted to get into, so let's jump into this. So the first thing I wanted to do was show you how to install an update. So I've just got the most recent update. I haven't even tried this, so this is going to be new for this video, so there might be even surprises even for me. I'm going to go to apps, see all apps. I'm going to scroll to the bottom here because I got this one called XAPKS installer. This seems to be the only one that I have found that lets me find Skyline. So I'm going to go to internal file picker. I just chuck it on the internal storage, no extra folders. It's right here. I'm going to select it. I'm going to install it. I'm going to install, and it's done. And this will show some ads. I'm just going to, whoa, ads within ads on YouTube? That's meta. And that's the installation done. So I'm just going to pick one of these games, because no matter what, with the metadata I have, it's going to throw me into Skyline. And these are all the games I have on here so far. I wanted to try a bunch of them. Obviously I can't tell you how to get these ROMs, but if you can find them yourself. I've been trying to get NSP ones. There is an NSZ which is compressed. I found I had to decompress some of those if I found those. But we're going to check a bunch of these games out, and I'm on this newest update of Skyline, which is as of the 28th of January. So there was a little fix there. Sometimes these little fixes provide something completely different. I've got no new games, so I don't have to change the search location again. Let's just look at these settings. I'm going to have show performance statistics on because we just want to see how well it's doing. You can pick a GPU driver. So there's a Discord channel for Skyline, and there's like a subthread there for graphics driver updates. I don't know too much about it, but basically I've got the most recent update for the Adreno driver, which is going to be helpful for the Odin. I could use the base one, but I'm just going to use the most recent one they've found. There has been some different performance from different games, from different drivers. I'm not going to do too much experimentation. I'm just going to show you that I'm just going to pick some base stuff and we'll go from there. So for example, some games might actually work because it's in docked mode, but if it's not in docked mode, then it's in handheld mode, and that generally means that the game's going to be running in a lower resolution, which is going to be easier to run. So I'm not going to test around with this on and off. I'm just going to leave this off. And then forced triple buffering is on. I think that might be on by default. I think the only other thing we're going to really leave on is enable fast GPU readback. Break some games, but we'll have higher performance. I've not messed around with these settings too much, but basically those are the settings that are probably going to give you the best performance for whatever game will actually run. So we'll work from that and go from there. So I'm just going to open each of these games one by one. Some of them are not going to work, they'll crash. Some of them will work at first but won't play, and some of them do seem to play. So we'll have a look at each of them and go from there. So let's start off with 20XX. Pretty sure this one's just going to crash. In fact, the last time I opened this up, on the last update I had, which was the 23rd of January, it would just crash. It actually just crashed immediately. So sometimes you get like this black screen, and maybe it'll do something. But one of the good reasons to have this performance statistic up here is you can actually see if it's actually doing anything. So it doesn't look like it's doing anything, and I've given it a bit of time, so I'm going to decide that game just doesn't work. So not yet, unfortunately. The Atelier Ryza games, these do kind of work, but not fantastic. I don't think they boot into game. So I don't know which one I just picked here. Was it Atelier Ryza 2? I did try opening up each of these games in the last update, which is the 23rd. And this is the public update of Skyline, by the way. This isn't Skyline Edge, which is basically a paid model of the emulator. Basically, you support them on Patreon. You get a up-to-date version of Skyline called Skyline Edge, which is about 2 weeks ahead of the public builds. So it gives them good time to test those builds before they release them to the public. And it's just nothing wrong with the emulator. This is just apparently a slow game to start up. If I remember correctly, these games are very loud. So it's booted up, and we've got some graphical problems here, and the frame rate is sort of jumping around. It's not very high, but the music seems to be fine. There are some games which don't work very well, and the music's everywhere. It's a very strange emulator at this point, because it does kind of seem like they seem to work with some problems that they've seen in some games, but whenever they fix a problem, it seems to have like a knock-on effect that might work on a different game. And whatever I've done there, it's at 3 FPS, so it doesn't seem to be going anywhere else. So I think it's crashed and it's not going to actually go ahead. So that was Atelier Ryza 2. Let's have a look at the first one. I haven't done a video on the Odin in a while. I forget that I have to like lean a certain way when I do these videos, and it's like I'm leaning on my arm in a way that's not pleasant. I should actually get like a little cushion or something when I do these videos. Make it easier for me. So it also might be the case that like maybe the newest build of Skyline actually has made something a little bit worse, and you might want to roll back an update or two. I think this is... It did not like that. I pressed the start button. I have noticed in Skyline there are like a bunch of... Whenever it's basically playing a video file or an FMV, some games it just doesn't seem to want to run them. God, when the sound goes like that, freaks me out. Because I use my PC a lot. Oh my god. I use my PC a lot, and that sound usually indicates a blue screen of death is about to come or something's going to break. So it looked like it was about to boot into a game there, and then is screwed up. So it doesn't seem like we can play any of those games still. I thought, okay, 1 year special of the Odin. Let's check out some Skyline games. I should have started with one I know would definitely work, but I'm just going through all these A to Z. Battle Princess Madelyn. Maybe a lot of you people don't know about this game, but this is basically an indie game that is inspired by ghouls and ghosts. And I remember this being kickstarted. I can't remember. I can't remember if I kickstarted it. It was ages ago. I remember getting the game on Steam at the time. I think it then eventually. I don't know if it came out on Switch at the same time. No, I do have this on the Switch. Yeah, I remember wanting to play it portably. But I did not really like this game very much. Oh my god, this is nearly 4 years ago. Sometimes I can't believe how old the Switch is. I distinctly... there was something about Nintendo, and I wasn't really excited by Nintendo for quite a while after the Wii. I think the Wii U kind of like lost me. There were some games I definitely played on there, but... Oh, King Daddy mode. Yeah, so there were some games that definitely interested me, but when they announced the Nintendo Switch, there was something very exciting about it for some reason. And I remember ordering one, and I remember distinctly there was this, there was a place you could order like games and stuff from the UK, and one time they screwed up one of my orders and they gave me a discount code to use on another game. And what they probably didn't know was that discount code kept working on the next game and the next game. So what ended up happening is I ordered a Nintendo Switch with Zelda from the site, and the code I used basically gave me Zelda for free. And I couldn't really believe that. I was like, this is amazing. And then I remember the day it showed up, and I was so excited to play it. And as much as I wanted to use it in handheld mode, I was like, no, Breath of the Wild is a big game. I need to see this on a big screen. But eventually, after I played like, 30, 40 hours of the game, I did start playing it in portable here and there. Just, doing like side activities. So I can't actually remember if this game boots up. I mean, it's getting quite far, and it says press Y to skip, but I think we've reached a point where it's crashed, so that's a shame. Doesn't look like that one's going to work. But yeah, that was Zelda, and the Switch was like, what, March 2017? 2017 was an incredible year for games. Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon 2. Now I know this one works. And this is actually quite a cool one to have on your Odin, because I have played all of this game, secret endings and all, and it's very, very good. I think it's a lot better than the first one. And if you're into these sort of like retro games here and there, like, I probably wouldn't want to play this now, but when it came out, I was very much interested in playing it. It's kind of a shame that this isn't on like Android or anything else. It's like, what is it, like PS4, Xbox, Switch, and PC maybe. But this is a really cool game to have in your portable collection. So the thing is, like, would I recommend buying an Odin to play games on Skyline? No, I wouldn't. But, when I ordered the Odin, I didn't even know PlayStation 2 was going to be a possibility, because Aether SX2 didn't exist. And then I got my Odin, and Aether SX2 came out, and suddenly PlayStation 2 was possible. So I had no idea I was going to be able to play all these PlayStation 2 games on there. Even a handful of them would have pleased me. I would have been like, wow, that's amazing. So the fact that you can play some of these games on Skyline Oh no, on here is just another cherry on top, and I'll take that. But yeah, that seems to be running really fine. When it's like a 2D game, some 2D games don't work, but some of them are like absolutely perfect for some reason. Blossom Tales 2 is something that came out last year. I actually got the first game on Switch, and I really liked it. Now, I don't usually like Zelda clones, and you can see this one's having problems running. The text doesn't work, and well, we'll just have to deal with it and get in game. But yeah, usually Zelda clones aren't very good to me, but this is actually a surprisingly good one. It's like, it's quite faithful to like the retro style. Like a very classic Zelda, something between Zelda 1 and Zelda 3. And you basically play as a girl, and it's obviously like the Zelda clone that's geared towards like the girl being the hero, and it plays exactly like a Zelda game, so it's fun, but the music is fantastic. That really surprised me. Like, all the tunes in the first game were very catchy, so I have every reason to believe that all the tunes in this game are going to be excellent as well. But yeah, you know, it's all in color, and the style is... I love those, like, walls, which are, like, just the way they're sort of, like... You know it's all flat, but it kind of, like, pops out. Very classic Zelda. So we can't read a damn thing, which is not going to help. It seems like there's a lot of text in this game. So we'd have to go with, is this game playable? No. But the music works, and the gameplay seems to work. So I'm running around, slashing away. But whatever it is in the background, some of the graphics are a bit weird, the text doesn't work, and even though the music is smooth, it's a little choppy. Doesn't feel right moving around. So can you play that? I'd say no, but I'd definitely recommend trying to get that on Switch or Steam. Give it a go if you like Zelda clones. It's actually a pretty good one. Now, every time I boot up Captain Toad, it's going to crash. Yeah, big time crash. It doesn't like that. Oops. Sorry, Captain Toad would have been amazing to play on here, but unfortunately you can't. So, there is a 3DS version that will probably work on the Odin if you want to give that a go. Celeste, we all know Celeste works. We'll jump in and have a look, but we know it works. It's one of those Skyline games that's been tested for like over a year. Starts off a bit slow, and then it'll just speed up. I remember when this used to start very slow, and then it would still be about 30 frames here. And now we've got to this section where it's showing like 3D models. And the frame rate is sticking up to 60. So let's skip the cutscene. Now, over the last year of the Odin, I've been opening this game like once every few weeks when there's been like a new update that was supposedly quite substantial. And to finally see it completely smooth like this at 60 frames is pretty awesome. I actually got this game on both Steam and Switch. You can do this. I can. I have. Twice now, I think. Yeah, pretty cool that even with all those 3D models there, it's very smooth. I don't know what it is about specific games. So, like, A4SX2 kind of had a similar problem. Oops. I'm not going to try and play this properly. Where, so for example, there was an update with A4SX2 where it's like, hey, guess what? Now you can play Resident Evil 4 and Spider-Man 2 perfectly. And I don't know if they work specifically with like something in those games to get it running as well as they do on that emulator. It seems like they've done the same thing with this with games like Celeste. It is so weird to me that some games just do not work very well when they're of like similar quality to Celeste. But we'll get there eventually. But yeah, that's Celeste. I will enjoy playing that for too long. I have to change the game. Cuphead is one where I assumed this would be running at full speed. Well, this is a new update, so maybe something's changed. But it does not run at full speed. It seems to be running well at first, but once we get in game, for whatever reason, it just doesn't run fantastically. So I'm just going to jump into this first world, which is like a run and gun level. And there are moments in this level, I don't know what it is you do. It's like you sort of stand still or something, but the frame rate will jump up to 60. I'll see if I can replicate that, but yeah, it's not that smooth. And maybe this is one of those games where if you put it in docked mode or messed around with the settings, maybe it would run a little bit better, but I wouldn't have too much hope. It's kind of playable. About 15 to 20 FPS. It doesn't feel slow though, it just feels like we're missing animation. Ow. I almost feel like I have memories of playing this on Skyline and seeing it playing a little better, but I don't know, maybe some people maybe some people will be willing to test this one out even further, but and I don't know if this game is meant to be 30 frames or 60 frames, but this is what we got. Ow. Oof, and then it gets really, what is going on? That's really bad. I have no idea what's happened. Let's stand still for a moment. And then I died, and then it's gone very smooth for a moment. That's really odd. I don't know what it is. Maybe they'll figure it out someday. But that's the state of Cuphead right now. And let's move on to the next game. I'm pretty sure Dark Souls is just going to close. Or crash. And see, it's done this before. And then it's going to freeze and stop. Pretty sure it's going to freeze and stop. See, I would have exited by now, but this is a new update to the emulator, so I'm just kind of like, is it going to do something? It's stuck on 5 FPS, but something's happening. Something's happening. See, this is bad for the video, but I would be willing to sit here for like 5 minutes and see if it progressed, but I don't think it will. Now let's call it on that one. It's not going to work. Next we've got Hollow Knight. This is one that is kind of hit and miss, but once you get into the game, it seems to be working okay. So what has been playable so far? Bloodstained was playable. So we got some weird graphical issues here, and I've seen this in a few other games. Metroid Dread has the same problem. So we're just going to jump in. This is... I got to a point where I was able to save my data, so that kind of lets you know that it's playable enough. But once you get in game, it seems to be okay once you get past those first problems. But it's going to be very likely that at some point later on in this game, you're going to have an area where that graphical problem is going to come back. And it could ruin the game. So, like, I wouldn't risk trying to play this. Have I got the air dash? I don't know. But I know a lot of people would like to play this if they could. Oops. It's pretty smooth, 60 frames. Now, I played all of Hollow Knight on my Switch. I finished it, but I didn't get like any of the secret endings or anything like that. I know this is a great game, but I just wasn't crazy into it. I prefer different Metroidvanias. I think personally, like, the tone of the game and the look, after a certain amount of time, kind of just wore on me. It's quite visually it looks quite similar throughout the entire game. And if you love this art style, then you're going to love the look of this game constantly, but for me it looked quite similar, just like different colours changed here and there. But I think for a lot of people, this was their like first Metroidvania. And this is like an exceptional first Metroidvania to play. Like, you're playing one of the best, absolutely. And there are a lot of Dark Souls influences. I think one thing I personally wasn't really into this game is when you die, you lose all your currency and stuff on that spot, and you have to go back and get it. And I find that kind of annoying in a game like this, because a Metroidvania is kind of like about exploration and figuring stuff out. But if you constantly feel like you got to go back to where you died, to this tough spot, and get like all your currency back because you need to like buy things or whatever, it can be quite frustrating. So I found myself often frustrated in this game when I wanted to explore. I'm just going as... We're getting some little graphical hiccups, but nothing preventing us from playing so far. But yeah, definitely can see why this is like a lot of people's favourite Metroidvania, but I'm a lot more into other things like Metroid. The Strider game from like 2017, whenever that came out, that was amazing. I guess I like my... Oh no, it's the crying caterpillar. We have to find all his worms or something. Sorry. But yeah, that's Hollow Knight. Great game. And looks like it's working. I don't know, I would have loved to get to like a boss or something, but I think it's going to take a while. And that will make this a very long video, so I'm going to move on. If I can. Katana 0. So wait a minute, what plays great so far? Bloodstained, Celeste, Hollow Knight apparently. Katana 0 I know works. I had a little go on this. And it seemed like there were no problems playing this game. So I'm just going to go to continue. If I'm continuing some sort of save, then you know that it works well enough to get to that point. Oh, well, this was the start of the game anyway. I had a little jump around on this game. It does seem to be running absolutely fine. I never played this one myself, but after having a little go on it, it seems to be pretty fun. Wait, what? Oh, why is it? So it gave me the option to hang up, but then is forcing me to get the call again. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, I just want to get on and play. He broke the logo. I get worried now because I never played this. I know it's got like a little bit of a Hotline Miami vibe to it, in that you kind of need to plan things out, otherwise you're just gonna die. Oh, that poor man. It's got to be a wall jump, right? Oh my god. Okay, I've never played this game before, but like I said, when I'm playing games on the capture, there's like a little bit of a delay that's not helping, and this game is very high. Oh my god, can I just jump through that? Okay, I can. Oh no, I tried to stab the fan. God, I was holding the direction. Hey, this is good testing though. I'm trying to break something. Oh god, I keep holding the direction to move and I keep meaning to wall jump. I just want to get to the next screen. Oh, ZL? Okay, never mind. it looks to be running quite well, so that's good. Kirby in the Forgotten Land. I don't think this works. Maybe the new update changed something. No, we do not want to connect online. So I think this is a video cutscene. Like I said before, some of them just do not work. So I'm going to skip. And... I don't remember it doing this before. Obviously it looks terrible. Let's skip that. We are in game though. Okay, this is new. I don't remember doing this. I mean, obviously I have no idea what's going on. I'm just holding forward. Oh my god. It just seems like it's getting worse. It looks like my Odin is broke. Oh. I don't know. I'm just trying to see if I can move to a new area where like something might change. Oh my god. I'm gonna need to put a warning at the start of these videos. This looks terrible. This is so weird. What? It seems like there's something I'm doing that makes it clear for a moment, and I'm just trying to figure that out. The pause menu is fine. Okay, Kirby's done. We cannot play Kirby. Live a live, or live alive, live a live, whatever you want to say. This is a game I really wish would work because I really want to play this. But it wasn't working for a really long time, and now it seems like it can boot up, get to the menu, and you can kind of start a game, but you'll see once I get to the menu that it's just gonna crash. Like, not crash, sorry. The frame rate is gonna tank, but the music's gonna jump around all over the place. And another thing I had to do to get this game running was I had to change the controller setup to be a Pro controller. It wouldn't accept my inputs unless it was a Pro controller, so I had to change that. So right now, we are playing all these games with a Pro controller as the input instead of like Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. This also means we cannot use the touchscreen. So yeah, this is familiar to me. It's actually, usually it goes to the menu. So maybe something about this update it doesn't like. It seems to have crashed hard at the 7 frames per second. But previously I was able to see a cinematic when the menu kind of like, after like a minute it would just play a cinematic. And it was kind of hit and miss with how that looked. And I was able to start a game, but then it wouldn't let me play the game. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to check that again. We're just going to leave it like that. It's obviously not playable. Mario Kart, I think, is just going to crash. Yeah. Doesn't like Mario Kart. So we're going to skip Mario Kart and go straight to Metroid Dread, which does boot, does kind of play, but kind of like Kirby and the start of Hollow Knight, it has this very odd graphical error. And it does make it very difficult to play. So this start menu, you just gotta press buttons and just get through it. So I was able to get to the first save location. But it was quite difficult to do so. It was very hard to figure out when to slide, when to shoot a block, or use missiles. We'll see if this update has changed anything, but it doesn't look like it's gonna. Seems to be exactly the same. Okay, it wasn't this bad. I think it's just this room that's this bad. If I move to the next room, yeah, so that's basically what it was before. In terms of like frame rate and how smooth the game is, that doesn't seem to be so much the problem. It's just this graphical noise that is yeah, that's just getting in the way. I just can't really see what my character's doing. Even my projectiles are creating this graphical noise as well. I don't have any wall jump at the moment. So you see what I mean? It's just really hard to figure out what you're supposed to do. I played this when it came out, but it's too much for me to remember right now. I can't. Oh, I want it to look like this forever. Wait. Ah. Oh. Is there like a certain section of the screen where it just kind of? I just want it to look clear for a moment, and then I'll use that as the thumbnail and trick everyone. Nah, I'm kidding. I won't do that. It's like for like a couple of frames, it's fine. Damn. Okay, yeah, we can't play Metroid Dread like that. Amazing game though, definitely worth playing. Pokemon Snap. This game surprisingly works, but it looks like an acid trip. It looks like a Pokemon Snap acid trip. And I did play this for a while, actually. It didn't crash. I was able to play a certain amount of it quite decently. It just looked weird. But even though I played it seems to take ages before you can save in this game. So I thought I saved. But I hadn't. So yeah, the sky's messed up. People's eyes look messed up. Other things are messed up. It's just Pokemon Snap. That acid trip. I don't know if I can skip any of this. But I was able to do the first area, which was like a tutorial photo shoot, just fine. I'm assuming the work they did on things like Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, wherever those Pokemon games were, have translated over to this, because I assume Game Freak uses like the same code and stuff to make these Pokemon games. So look at that jacket. And her creepy eyes. Playing Pokemon Snap on a PlayStation handheld. I don't know how long it takes, but I wanted to jump into a photo shoot. It did actually aggravate me how long it takes to just get on with playing this game. If you play the N64 Pokemon Snap, you're pretty much ready to go to start taking pictures. It's not complicated at all. You just move the stick and press a button. Yeah. I just want to take pictures of Pokemon. Yeah, I hate all the tutorials game have now. I much prefer like the Elden Ring style of tutorial. Like, do you want to do a tutorial or do you want to get on with the game? I'm pretty sure that the Odin does have a gyroscope in it. I think it does. So if the emulator allowed it, you probably could do all this to take pictures. That's probably really fun. It does seem like the sound effects don't work in this game though. Well, that click did, but I have noticed some button presses do not make sound effects. And it seems like they should. But this wasn't the tutorial I was on about. There's a bit after this where you're actually... Oh my god. Yeah. We pick our favorite pictures. It's not rocket science. I know kids play this, but I was basically a kid when I played Pokemon Snap on the N64. Pokemon was really fun back then. I used to like the cartoon, the anime. Is it considered anime? I suppose. We used to have a show here in the UK every Saturday morning called SMTV Live with Ant and Dec. It was so fun. And if you ever watched that as a kid and you watch clips of it now, you realise there's a lot more adult humour in that show. It was really funny. But they always used to show an episode of Pokemon every Saturday morning, and then Ant and Dec would always do a pretend Pokemon battle as Gary and Misty, and Dec would dress up as Misty, and Ant would dress up as Gary, and it was just like made up Pokemon they'd use to battle each other. It was stupid, but kids loved it. You see, I just want to take pictures of Pokemon. I just want to take pictures of Pokemon. I swear, I'm gonna look back on this video and look at the timestamp and see how long it took for me to go out and take pictures of Pokemon. And then I'm gonna write Nintendo a letter and said, "Dear Nintendo, I played your game and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter how I played your game, but it took me 10 minutes to take pictures of Pokemon." Oh my god, if it was to crash now, I'd be so annoyed. Because I've got further than this. There's a part of me now that's worried I've been spamming the button too much. And because this is a newer update, I have to expect something could go wrong, potentially. Well, I know it can go further than this. I went through all of that to take pictures of Pokemon, and it's not gonna let me. I think it's crashed. Oh my god, yeah, it's done. It's done. Oh, well, that was a good segment, wasn't it? Rogue Legacy 2. I think this one works. I tried it for a bit and it didn't seem to have any problems. At this point, I should also say that I don't know if it's possible on Skyline emulator to apply updates and DLC. So all of these games I've been testing are the base version from the eShop. I think that's pretty much how it goes. So for example, one game I would have liked to have tested was Blasphemous. But Blasphemous has lots of updates and DLC, which is basically expansion packs. And if at this point, if you can't play those, then what's the point? So I decided not to test Blasphemous. So there's a couple of graphical hiccups. Got that Metroid Dread thing going on, but apart from this... Oh, you can fast forward. You can fast forward instead of skip. Okay. But once we're in game, it seems to be fine. I remember playing all of the first Rogue Legacy. I think I did everything. And it's a pretty cool game. I think the sequel is just more of the same, except it has a more vibrant, cartoony look. And I'm pretty sure there's more classes and stuff. Very cool game though, a roguelike. And when you die, your successor, your kid, in air, left stick and B to spin kick. Okay, cool. So it's kind of a funny thing to just think every time one of these dudes goes on a journey, they've literally just had a kid with someone, and then they go off. All these mechanics are new. These were not in the original games, so I'm kind of like, what am I doing? Shortly after taking damage, press jump for recovery. Oh, that's an interesting tutorial. But it's working. Spin kick enemies to... This is a weird tutorial. Imagine giving this tutorial to IGN. I'm sorry, we could not review Rogue Legacy because we could not get past the tutorial. Was it IGN or it's one of them? It's one of them where they're playing Cuphead or Doom Eternal or something, and you're like, Christ, this is who's reviewing the games. I guess there's some argument to be had where people would be like, well, it's a video game, anybody should be able to play it, but you wouldn't get your film critics or TV critics from just any nobody. Tricking it struck by a spell or talent. Okay. My god, I did the whole tutorial on this video without screwing up. I'm a professional critic now. So this is, yeah, this is going to be your hub. They really like that spin kick thing. Oh, we're in the castle now. That was quick. And now everything's procedurally generated, and wow, this game just seems to work. This is cool. I think this game came out like last year. I remember it being on early access for a while on Steam, I think. So I imagine this game would have had like newer techniques or something. Someone a bit more familiar with the Switch hardware. But it's running really great. Okay, we'll leave it at that. It just seems to be running really well. Super Mario Odyssey. Now this one, I've seen some really mixed stuff on this, but I haven't seen a lot of it on the Odin. So this is a game that will load and will play, but not very well. There's a lot of graphical problems, but you can pretty much get to like the first boss, no problem. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm not going to do that because it's going to take forever. The frame rate's pretty bad. Like this first section got graphical problems. I don't actually remember those graphical problems. I just remember it being slow. But this is a new version of Skyline. Oof. I can hear the fan of the Odin going pretty hard. I have noticed that using it, like once I test all these games on Skyline, it's going to use quite a lot of the battery of the Odin. Oh my. Well, I managed to do a triple jump. That's something at least. Can you do long jumps in this? I can't remember, but it's pretty slow. There are some areas up ahead, especially when you're in the frog area, where it's, I think it's a lot smoother, but yeah, there's no way you're gonna play this like this. Oof. So I don't want to spend too much time on this one because it's just going to take forever. It doesn't run well, so not really worth looking into. I think this is going to crash. Well, it did on the last version. Sakuna. Oh? Don't give me hope. It's that meme, don't give me hope. It's from some film. Wait, I'm going to open that again. I swear this one crashed before. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. Is it going to crash? Well, it doesn't seem to be booting. So, yeah, I'll give a pass on that. Kind of like Dark Soul. I'm not going to wait around. Now, Shovel Knight, whatever they're doing with these games, these just work. I did want to make a note of this because of how well they run, I wanted to see what they were like on the Metroid Pocket 3 Plus. This game, Shovel Knight Dig, worked. It works on the Metroid Pocket 3 Plus, but it runs at about 40 frames most of the time, whereas this is like a solid 60. So this just goes to show that, okay, so Skyline and Switch emulation still has a long way to come, especially on Android. But power does seem to matter. And the Odin lets you play this one at 60 frames. I'm just going to rush through this. Yeah, Shovel Knight really became a brand. It's kind of weird. And these are the kind of games that seem like they're perfect for Android, but they're not on Android. And I think it's Jake Kaufman, but you still got that excellent Jake Kaufman music. I actually did a remix of Shovel Knight. I did the what's the original name of the song? Basically, after each level, Shovel Knight dreams of Shield Knight falling, and he has to catch her. And there's this really nice song that played. And I do music, I remix music, and so on. I did this like really like emotional version of that theme for piano and violin. And Jake Kaufman heard it. He was like, "Wow, I really love this, man. I'm thinking about doing like a Shovel Knight album." This was years ago, and he didn't tell me not to say anything. So, you know, it's not out yet, so I assume it's not going to happen. But he was going to do like a piano arrange album of Shovel Knight music. And then I just didn't hear from him. It doesn't seem like it was going to happen. But he wanted to use my arrangement of that on his album, which was really cool. Sort of all those guys, I know them back from the VG Mix, OC Remix days. Well, I say no. I didn't really talk to Jake. But we were all like in the same circles. And now, pretty much as a hobby, I like checking out emulation stuff. I just really got back into all of this about 2 years ago when I was just sort of interested in having a handheld that could emulate retro games again. And that's when I got a Vita and modded the Vita. And then ever since then, it's just been like a bug. I think a lot of people are the same. They've gotten into handheld emulation again and just, you know, they want to buy the new device, they want to see the next device. So for example, I'm quite interested in the Mayu Mini Plus that's coming out, that's a little bigger. Because it still seems to be very pocketable, but also it seems to be like a good improvement over the original. So I might get one of those. And yeah, that was very fun to play. I could play that for ages. Let's check out Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. I don't really know anything about this, but this one runs fantastic as well. So whatever they're doing on this, however they're coding their games on the Switch, more people need to do that. So let's just skip through this. I did play this for a little bit. I was checking out the gameplay. Excuse me. And how would you describe the gameplay? It's got like a, I don't know, see, like stuff falls and then you can chain up what's linked together to hit them, but enemies are going to be coming soon, and when you touch them, you always trade hit points, I think. So then you lose hit points and you have to get your health back by getting the potions. And the potions can stack up too. And they said stank. I like gameplay systems like this, which are like deceptively simple. Like, you know it's going to get a lot more complicated later and you have to think about what you do a bit more. Right now, for the sake of the video, I'm just rinsing through it. But yeah, there's not a lot going on, and everything's running absolutely smooth, which is cool. So yeah, it would be nice to see more of the higher profile Switch games running better on Skyline. I mean, if you have a more powerful system, let's say you're going to get the new Red Magic 8 phone, which is a Snapdragon Gen 2 processor and GPU, I think. That's going to be really powerful, a lot more powerful than the Odin. So it might actually be able to handle some of the games that have been running slow that were 3D. But I don't think it's going to do anything about the games that, like Metroid Dread. That just seems to be an emulator thing, and eventually they will figure that out. I mean, the game's running smooth already, so I imagine it's within months that Metroid Dread will probably be fixed. So now there's like an adventure mode, and you can kind of like travel around. That's cool. So that's Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. We're going to briefly look at Sonic Mania. Briefly, just because it's there. We all know it works. It's been ported to everything now by either Sega or people who just love this game. But it runs at 60 frames. I showed this on the Vita recently, and it works on there, but as soon as you get to a special stage, it does not work. I mean, it does, but it's very slow. I remember, like, when was it? It was maybe, it couldn't have been a year ago. I can't remember when Skyline first came out, but one of the first things that basically happened was like, oh, Sonic Mania runs on this. And it's like the only game that does. I think that was the case. It's like, it was like Sonic Mania is the first game to run perfectly on Skyline if you have a good Android device. And then after that, everything started switching over to Celeste. Like, oh man, can we get Celeste to run? But also, if you really want to play this, you can also... There is an Android port, I think, but you have to like transfer the game you own on PC or something. There's like a base file that you might need. I'm gonna have to double check that because I can't actually remember if there is an Android port that someone's made. At this point, I'm just going to see if I can get to the special stage. Ow. Sorry, Tails. It's only for me. Right, we're nearly there. I think I'm nearly at the special stage. I just want to see the special stage. Yeah, it runs super smooth. And that's all I need to show that. I've seen that in many videos now. Oh, uh-oh. What do I do? Wait, I don't know what I'm running. Hang on. So, why has that come up? Go away. Super Mario 3D World does run. Let's check it out on this update. Because I've managed to get into the main game. We'll also see if Bowser's Fury works. It doesn't run fantastically, but it does run. See? Oof. No, I want to play Mario. Oh, there was a timer. So, some kind of cutscene not working. Okay, something's screwed up. I have definitely got into a game before. Why does it keep doing that? Go away. Okay, let's see if we can get into Bowser's Fury then. Because I have not tried that. I don't... Okay, Bowser's Fury. Let's see if this boots up. But yeah, the 3D world, I got to the overworld, I got into a level and I was running around playing it. The frame rate wasn't fantastic, it was like 30 to 40. So you could kind of do stuff, but then there was graphical problems as well. Let's just skip cutscenes because it's a waste of time. Oh no, this is like this is like Odyssey. Oh, weird. There's no sound, but you can run around and do stuff. His animation is messed up. That's interesting. I thought for sure it was going to crash when we saw him. So weird. This is a weird emulator, man. It seems bizarre to me that we can look at him in the distance, massive model, the frame rate is not changing. Like, no matter where we look, it is still like 18 frames per second. It doesn't seem to matter what's happening in the game. It's just that it does not run. Jesus Christ. Uh-oh. Alright, that's enough of that. But, oh wow, every time I do this now, it just wants to bring up the keyboard. Okay, here's a cool one. Smash Bros, and this has been talked about recently, does work. And let's take a look at it on the Odin. Maybe this newest update has made it a little bit more playable. We'll see. But what I played of it seemed to be fairly smooth. But I did also pick like random arena. Because, you know, certain stages in this are going to be more demanding than others. And this is like the base version of the game, no DLC or anything, so I'm going to pick a random course and see what happens. It's so weird to see this game start up. Is this what usually happens? I played all of this. I did the whole single player mode, everything. It's weird to see a character selection with only like a few characters. I'm gonna have to remember the buttons now. So, we're ranging between 40 to 55 FPS, I'd say. Oh, I can't be asked to play this properly. But it's pretty impressive. Like, I haven't seen this game crash yet. Alright, let's try a different course and then see what happens. But yeah, kind of playable, pretty good on the Odin. Pretty good. I just quit the level and it seems to have crashed. Oh, we were doing so well, Smash Bros. You had to ruin it. Let's start it again and just pick another level and see what happens. I'll pick a different character like Mario or someone. We'll see. A brief moment of silence in the video. I do talk a lot. Smash. Okay, so let's maybe not random. What would be a really difficult level? I'm trying to think of a level that's got like so much going on. No, not Pilot Wings. Like maybe the Wii Resort level. Time Battle. I don't know what's going on, but it's being weird again. Oh, it's not crashed, has it? Well, at least you can see that it's not amazingly stable. But when we were in game, it was playable. That's a shame. I'm not going to hang around too much on that because we'll be here all day. What have I done that's really annoying me? Triangle strategy. I don't think this works. Unless the new update's done something. The fan is going. I can hear the fan on the back of the Odin going, but it has frozen. It's definitely frozen. I'll try that one more time. We'll see if those numbers change. Different numbers, but has frozen again. Okay, we'll say that's not playable, for sure. Like most of these games. But Shredder's Revenge does work, and I did actually play this for a little bit. You can get this game on Android now, by the way. If you have a Netflix account, you can download Shredder's Revenge from the Play Store, and as long as you log in to your Netflix account, you can play this game on Android. So you have a perfect version on Android, as long as you have a Netflix account. Oh, this is strange. Okay, so maybe this is a case where if we rolled back to an older version of Skyline, this game would work? Because this game does work perfectly. Maybe something weird happened. Yeah, something weird happened. So let's just skip through that. Don't worry about the sound. Skip the cutscene as well. And let's just like jump into arcade mode. Hiya! And I played like the first level of this a fair amount. I got to like the boss. Maybe I got to the second level. I definitely got to the world map kind of view. And yeah, it just seems to run fine now. It runs really well. Oh, and the D-pad does work now. That's probably because I'm using the Pro Controller setup. And when I tested this out before, I think it was on like regular Joy-Cons Nintendo Switch controls. Wait, wasn't he supposed to like crack the screen? Oh, it just disappears. Okay, now that I'm quiet, you can tell I'm having a good time. Yeah, it runs pretty cool. I could keep playing that for a while, but then the video would be really long. You know what? I'm just going to close these and then I'm going to start it up again. Because that's annoying me now. Although, what we got left? Not much. And not much that works. So this is Skyward Sword for the Switch. This is just going to crash. Unless this new update has changed anything. I was curious to see if this worked because obviously Skyward Sword is on the Wii and you can emulate that on Dolphin MMJR. But trying to set up a controller profile for that game, especially on Android, is a real pain in the ass. Whereas if you were to set it up for like Dolphin on PC or something, you can add like a modifier button that would change. So if the right stick was to look around, then you could add a modifier and then the right stick would be slashing and swing motions. You can't seem to do that on the Android version. At least on MMJR anyway. So yeah, Skyward Sword doesn't work. The Messenger does. I don't think there's another way to play this except for consoles and Switch and Steam. This isn't on Android. I think this is the only way you could emulate this game. This is a very cool game though, with a really great soundtrack. I played this all on my Switch and I really liked it. I think it's a really good game. My name is H. This game has a lot of witty dialogue, but the script's actually kind of funny. I don't usually enjoy games like this where like the dialogue's like potentially a bit cringe. But no, this is very good. This is the kind of... it's not like Forspoken. Though I do think this game should be smoother. Oh, that's right. When I hit the object, I get another jump. But it is basically just running almost perfectly. I don't know. I haven't played this in a long time. But because it's a retro game, I feel like it should be a bit smoother, but maybe this is just what it did look like in the first place. How long has this game been out now? Is this like 2018? It's been a while. And these guys are working on a new RPG that looks a lot like Chrono Trigger in terms of like battle system, but the visuals are really great. And I backed that on Kickstarter, so I don't know when that game's supposed to come out, but it's kind of weird when you back games on Kickstarter. It's like you've got like a couple of games like ready to play in the future. There's a few games I've backed, and one day they'll come and I'll say, oh yeah, I already paid for that, I forgot about that, and then it will come and be like, oh cool, hopefully it'll be good. Cool song. Now this game definitely looks like it should be a little bit smoother, but if you wanted to play this on Skyline, definitely looks like you can. Oh, I don't have the ability to strike projectiles. I played this twice. I played this as intended, you know, you go through the game, buy stuff, and then I did a playthrough of this game where I didn't buy any abilities. So I did the whole game with the base as you are here throughout the entire game, which added a lot more challenge. I think that's a really good way to play this game. I quite like challenge runs. They do add a lot more you know, life to the original game. But yeah, wait, let's go in this door and then see what happens. Yeah, runs great. That's the Messenger. Wonderful 101. This is one I was fairly interested in trying because I'd forgotten there was a Switch port. This game is also on Steam though, so I imagine when I get like the Loki, whenever that comes out, I will be interested in playing this on Steam with a Windows handheld. But this game has often crashed. I haven't been able to get into the game with this yet. So it just crashes. I have noticed if I wait and just leave things, it will crash anyway. So I did try to like speedily get in game, like, come on, get in game. See what happens. Yeah. Yeah, quickly. It's gonna crash. Go. Quick. Don't give it a reason to crash. No! Can't do anything about that. Wild Guns, this did boot up for me last time. Let's see if this update's changed anything. As soon as I got into game though, I couldn't see a damn thing. Wild Guns Reloaded is really cool. It's really cool. This updated version is really fun. The music's great. If you got someone you can play this with, like on couch co-op, it's a very fun game to play together. Yeah, same problem. I get into game and I can do stuff. I can't see anything. So that's Wild Guns Reloaded. And then we got one last game, Windjammers 2. So this one's interesting. I'm interested to see this one again because it runs and then you get into game and it's kind of slow. But then for whatever reason, it will just bump up to 60 frames. Oh, sorry. So let's jump into arcade mode. I don't know how to play this game. I'm just going to press buttons when I need to. Let's turn the music up. So we got some graphical problems here. Not a huge deal. Once we're in game, it looks fine. But it's going to start off a bit slow for whatever reason. And then we'll see if we can get to the point where it starts running really smooth. Okay, now it's running smooth. Oh, if I don't catch it, I lose? I don't know how to play this. Oh, that's not fair. But what? That's messed up. No. See, trying to play this properly on the capture is going to be terrible. But you can sit here and play this game. Oh no. Oh no! Harsh. Oh, this is the last game I've got to try. It's weird to think of the Switch's library. It's huge. It's a huge library. It's almost like its own Steam, and there's a lot of trash on there. So there's thousands of games you could test. Oh, there's like timing to the inputs. Oh, you can curl as well. That's cool. Whoa, that's neat. I didn't realize this was a dope game. Wait, so is it like the way I move my stick? Oh, harsh. Alright, well that's Windjammers 2, and that is also the end of the list of games I have here to test. So, interesting what we have here. So 20XX doesn't work. These boot, but the frame rate's bad, but they don't go into game. Same with Madelyn, it works, but you can't get into game. Curse of the Moon 2 runs great. Blossom has problems. Captain Toad doesn't work. Celeste runs great. Cuphead has problems. It runs, but not great. Dark Souls will not boot. Hollow Knight seems to work very well. Katana Zero works very well. Kirby's a mess. Bless you, Kirby. Live a Live doesn't work, unfortunately. That doesn't boot. Metroid Dread works, but has graphical problems. Pokemon Snap is playable, but looks like an acid trip. Rogue Legacy 2 works. Mario Odyssey is a mess and it's quite slow. Sakuna doesn't work. These Shovel Knight games do work. Sonic Mania is perfect. Super Mario 3D World has problems, but is sort of playable. Not that I would. Smash Brothers is very playable, but I'm not sure if it's worth it just yet. Triangle Strategy crashes. Shredder's Revenge works perfectly. Skyward Sword does not. The Messenger runs, but I think it could be a little smoother. 101 crashes. Wild Guns Reloaded, you get into game and you can't see anything. Windjammers, it takes a moment, but it will play at full speed and seems to be very playable. So that's the list of games I've tested here on Skyline, on the Odin. It's been pretty cool checking that out. Had this thing for 1 year. I wouldn't recommend getting an Odin just for Switch games. Go buy a Switch or something. I'm not sure. I guess, Yuzu and other emulators on... Is it mainly Yuzu? On PC, some stuff's very playable, but, I still advocate, go buy the game, support the developers. If you enjoy something, even if you try it out, let's say you try Celeste and go, I really like this game, go and buy it. It's definitely cheap these days too, but at least you're supporting the developer. If you enjoy the game, go out and buy it, for sure. But that's really interesting. I really enjoy testing these games. It's nice to see how far Skyline has come, especially on a device like the Odin. After a year now, I guess the Odin is showing its age a little bit. I think we've all said from the start, if the Odin had a stronger Snapdragon processor, we'd all be a lot happier with the device. But for what you pay for it, it's a very cool device, and you can play anything up to PlayStation 2 pretty much. And streaming on it is fantastic as well. I recently got the Xbox Game Pass, and I was trying out Hi-Fi Rush, and that works very well on there. And this video is going to go on and on, but that's Skyline. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please give it a like, subscribe, hit that bell button if you want to see more content, and I'll see you soon for more videos. So have a good day. Bye bye.